absolutely phenomenal race over there in Manicourt. Let's just check how things look now with the drivers' standings. And Mika Häkkinen is now 8 points clear of Michael Schumacher. Heinz-Harald Frentzen a clear fourth behind Eddie Irvine, then Ralf Schumacher and Giancarlo Fisichella. Tony Jardine always give you the easy jobs, don't we? Sum that little up for us.
Well, just an amazing race. You couldn't keep up with the passing manoeuvres. It was like the M25 on a Friday night, people rushing home. It was totally unreal, but tactics were something else. Those that stayed out longest as the track dried, waiting for those second stops, and the skills of the drivers in the wet must be appreciated. If you saw any of those onboard cars, shots from the cars, imagine being in there yourself. Unbelievable.
Wonderful day for Frentzen.
Frentzen coming back from a big accident. He's not tested at all. He recuperated with his mother in Spain, and he's come back very bruised and battered to lead. And big problem, I think, for Eddie Jordan now. He's got one coming man and one going man in Damon. What's he going to do? Yeah,
who knows? Well, let's have a little word about our competition, shall we? We've teamed up with our RAC Motoring Services to give you a fantastic prize, a VIP weekend for two at Silverstone in a couple of weeks' time, and 5 pairs of tickets available for the runners-up. Just hope it's a little bit drier this time around. We want you to answer this question. What was so unusual about the 1998 RAC British Grand Prix? Was it A, the race was won behind the safety car, B, bad weather stopped the race, or C, the race was won in the pit lane? The race won behind the safety car, bad weather stopped the race, or the race was won in the pit lane? If you think you know the answer, this is the number to dial: 0891 22 9966, 0891 22 9966. The lines close at midnight on Wednesday, and the very best of luck to you all. Yes, good luck with that one. Highlights tonight from Manicourt, and of course more analysis from Tony Jardine, the views of the drivers as well. 11:45 tonight here on ITV. So the result of the French Grand Prix: a win for Heinz-Harald Frentzen, Mika Häkkinen world champion second, Rubens Barrichello third for Stewart, Ralf Schumacher for Williams, Michael Schumacher and Eddie Irvine making his point for Ferrari. But in the end, a famous win for Heinz-Harald Frentzen, a triumph for the Jordan teamwork and strategy, really the pinnacle of a brilliant season for the German.
I noticed that the guys around me must have been less fuel, because initially they pulled away quite quickly. But luckily then the pace car came in, and then we had time for the radio conversations to the pits, talking about the strategy, and I knew that I was then pretty heavy on fuel. It was pretty tight. That I had to save a little bit of fuel in one stage to make it to the end, but we have good radio communications, and the communication worked out perfectly.
When it started raining, that was not one of my best moments, and particularly because I spun, and I lost obviously a lot of time, and that is the obviously reason why I'm sitting here today in second position. But after all, it doesn't matter. It was great fun.
It was a great battle, yeah, and I enjoy. I hope to be more and more there, because as having a competitive car, I'm sure we can be there quite often.
6 points for Mika Häkkinen then, and that increases his lead over Michael Schumacher. Irvine still third, but Frentzen has closed right up on the Irishman. A pretty bad day all round for Ferrari. McLaren are now just 6 points behind them. Jordan's maximum puts them clearly third. Williams, thanks to the consistent Ralf Schumacher, well, they overtake Benetton. Absolutely magnificent race, Tony Jardine. So much going on.
It was a thrilling race, and there was so much activity. What was thrilling for me about that whole thing was the conditions were so dire. and you saw tremendous, tremendous car control from the guys. Can you imagine trying to drive in no visibility whatsoever? They must have been looking for the little markers at the side of the track. It was unbelievable. 55 garden hoses on your face all at once.
I don't know what David Coulthard has done this season, but he's having absolutely miserable luck, isn't he?
Absolutely dreadful. From 4th place on the grid, he was the best British hope, and this is the second of his great charging manoeuvres to go into the lead, the second of his replays. And down from 190 miles per hour, what does he have to do to get reliability? Uprated engine from Mercedes for this particular race. Look at him there, in great forceful form, as he was in Canada. And then he retired very shortly afterwards. Now, you know, he's stuck in 6th in Australia, gearbox went in Monte Carlo, here we are out again. He needs a win to restore his confidence.
Terrifically pleased for Heinz-Harald Frentzen. His transformation virtually complete, but there was a bit of in-car footage and we thought, hello, he's had it, he's finished.
Yeah, Pedro de la Rosa was trying to get round him and lap him, and there you see on the inside, fabulous. And suddenly he's all revs and no cogs, he can't get in. Whether he'd missed the paddle, whether there was a little bit of water in the electronic system on there, it starts to clear again. And of course, the heart of Heinz-Harald Frentzen must have started beating again. But that was a dodgy moment for Jordan.
This was supposed to be a yawn of a Grand Prix, wasn't it? They all knew the circuit and they were going to dawdle around and give us no instance whatsoever. It was hard to find out who was actually in the lead at many given points, but there was one absolutely crucial pit stop, wasn't there?
Very crucial indeed, and they both came in at the same time. It was Mika Hakkinen and Rubens Barrichello. 7.7 seconds here for this Mika Hakkinen stop. And there was a little bit of a jitter here. It seemed to just hang on for a little bit. Had he got it in gear? Not sure. And away he gone. Should have been a little bit faster that. Rubens as well. Meanwhile, Heinz-Harald Frentzen just surfed straight past into the lead and goes on to cruise for his second ever Grand Prix win and the second ever win for Jordan Grand Prix. Absolutely fantastic.
But bittersweet for Jordan. Just to talk finally about Damon Hill, all the papers, the Monday papers, will be full of, is Damon Hill going to quit? Is he going to carry on? What would you think?
Well, the situation's exacerbated because you've got the coming man, Heinz-Harald Frentzen, the going man, potentially, Damon Hill. He must be so upset by that result and so disheartened by it. But if I was the sponsors, if I was the team, I would plead with Damon Hill to go to the British Grand Prix, then sort something out after Silverstone. If he gets a good result, perhaps he'll stay on for the rest of the season, which I believe he should do to help the team maintain its 3rd place in the Constructors.
Tony, thanks very much indeed. So here's your complete rundown of a captivating race. Frentzen first, super for Jordan. Hakkinen's best ever result in France. Barrichello 3rd, terrific drive. Ralf Schumacher 4th again, carrying Williams single-handed. Then Big Brother, followed by teammate Irvine. Trulli and Panis just out of the points for Prost. First finish for Zonta in the BAR. Badoa 10th, same as Canada. Takagi and De La Rosa, the last official finishers in the Arrows. Fisichella spun. Hill's engine went a few laps after Zanardi. Villeneuve, Wirtz and Genet all crashed out. Alesi spun just before the safety car appeared. Electrics finished the unlucky David Coulthard and Deniz. And Johnny Herbert was first to depart the French Grand Prix. Well, Canada was excellent. Manicourt, simply magnifique. But there's no place like home.
Schumacher leads!
Full ITV service, starting with Murray and Martin F1 special, 11:30 Friday night. An hour later, if you're watching in the London weekend region, qualifying will be live on the Saturday. Our programme starting at 12:15 and the race live from midday on Sunday. Highlights at 11:45. Well, the Jordan team have only got to pop across the road to get to Silverstone. Heinz-Harald Frentzen goes there on top of the world. Let's hope we see Damon Hill in action as well. Good night to you all.
If you'd like to know more about Formula One, the website address sponsored by Level 3 Communications is www.itv-f1.com.